Hello, Shrunkle Spurt here, and for the last few days I've had my sim secreted inside of this lovely wee git, the Vivo V70. Now, like most blowers these days, it's not exactly a massive exciting upgrade compared with the previous generation, but what Vivo has done is spruced up the old V60 in a couple of smart ways. Bit of tweaking here, bit of fiddling there, and they've gone and slapped together one of my favourite mid-range smartphones of 2026. In fact, it probably is my favourite of 2026 thus far, but it is only February, so let's not get too excited and start ripping our pants off or anything. Anyway, enough blather, here's my full Vivo V70 review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe, ding that bell thing. Cheers! Now, not really any trouser tingling shocks or surprises when it comes to the design of the Vivo V70, very much looks like most other phones. We're talking a completely flat display, flat edges, flat arse. It feels okay to clutch, helped along by the rounded corners and the fact that it is quite slim and light. We're obviously not talking Galaxy S25 Edge levels of skinniness here, but the Vivo V70 certainly ain't a chunkster. A wee bit of curvature around back would have helped with the hand feel, but hey, at least you've got a camera bump which operates as a finger shelf for your one-handed shenanigans. And hey, this time around Vivo has upgraded the plastic frame, replacing it with some proper aluminium alloy action. Fancy! And the Vivo V70 also boasts a fresh range of colours as well. This is the Golden Hour model, not to be confused with Golden Shower. Although it does sport a sort of liquidy ripply effect when the light strikes it just so. You'll see it morphs through a spectrum of colours from a sort of pale blue to a yellow to a sunset pink. And really appreciate the fact that it's a matte finish as well. It does a splendid job of hiding greasy, grubby prints. You never have to buff this thing up. If you're not a fan of that, you can also grab it in brown, grey, yellow or black. And that front end's protected by a bit of diamond shield glass. You've also got a pre-installed screen protector slapped on there. It's IP68 and 69 dust, water and spurt resistant, so it can be fully dunked in liquids, sprayed quite violently, whatever your hobbies may be. So overall, really like the look and the feel of the Vivo V70. Something a bit more compact and a little bit more rounded would have been perfect for me. But it's quite slim and light and yet still durable. Looks a bit more premium with that metal finish, and hey, at least it's got something going on around the back end. So help it stand out a wee bit. Now, another upgrade that I truly appreciate here on the Vivo V70 is the in-display fingerprint sensor, which is now an ultrasonic scanner. So this takes an accurate 3D image of your print. As you can see, they're super responsive and accurate. And even when my hands are proper moist or mucky, does not seem to phase this thing. So you do have face unlock as well as a backup, but I've basically never had to use this. And once you're in there, no shocks or surprises either. It's Vivo's OriginOS 6 launcher, grinding up against Android 16. With a guarantee of 4 OS updates, taking you all the way up to 2030. And 6 years of security patching if you want to hang on to it a wee bit longer. And that's the guarantee here in Europe at least. And while it's not one of the best offerings out there, the likes of Samsung and Google do offer longer support for their mid-range blowers. It's not bad at all. And OriginOS, like all of these launchers, has its good points and bad points. It'll look quite familiar to anyone who's used a Chinese launcher recently. You got your separate control panel and notifications center. You got your apps tray, which is transparent by default. You can also access all of your widgets via this. And like many aspects of OriginOS, completely customizable as well, so you can have a good fiddle about, get it looking just the way you like it. While still not proven quite as customizable as something like Smart Launcher, it's kind of a happy medium. Yeah, you can play around with the icons, the fonts. You got an actual always on display that does actually stay always on. You can schedule it if you want. Loads and loads of different options to choose from. You can even piddle about with individual launcher animations, like the fingerprint sensor, for instance. And also, like pretty much all Chinese launchers these days, you've got this dynamic island bollocks popping up top, or Origin Island, as it's known here on OriginOS, of course. So say you're playing some tunes, you'll get the island, you can just give that a quick tap and it'll pop up your media controls. It also works for timers, stopwatches, a whole variety of stuff. And personally, don't really see the point because I don't think that's any easier than simply going like that. Then you've got your media controls right there. But some people seem to sploosh themselves silly over anything even vaguely Apple related, so there you go. But the Vivo V70, not without its annoyances, one of them being the sheer amount of crapware stuffed on here. You've got all the usual metabolics, a couple of random crappy games, booking.com. But thankfully most of this toss can be swiftly and easily disposed of. And also Vivo's many apps do constantly get on your tits with the endless pestering notifications, and they've deliberately made it more annoying to actually silence these notifications as well, although they do at least explain how to do it. But yeah, basically on day one when you get your Vivo V70, just spend a wee bit of time setting it up the way you like, deleting the living buggery out of all those apps that you don't need and silencing everything else that you can't delete easily. And then hopefully, like me, you'll find yourself getting on with it rather splendidly. And hey, if you fancy a deeper dive into OriginOS 6, all the best new features and bits, what they've changed, well, I've done a full dedicated video on that, so you can go check that out if you want to. Obviously, I mean, fair warning, it is about 15 minutes of me banging on some more about tech stuff. And in more good news, the Vivo V70 comes kitted out with up to 512 gigs of lovely storage. And particularly good news given I had to do a Wuthering Waves update this past weekend, which was 20 friggin' gigs in itself. Now, as is pretty much standard these days, you've got a massive whopping great OLED display slapped on the front end of the Vivo V70. The resolution for this generation has been boosted though to 1.5K. So sharper pictures, more finer detail, as long as you actually boost the screen resolution in the display settings, otherwise it's just stuck at regular full HD. Colours are nice and poppy and bright without being over the top artificial. Some rather lovely natural looking visuals here, helped along by the fact you've got HDR10 playback in the likes of Netflix. And if you want to, you can mess around with the colours in the display settings, but to be honest, it makes minimal difference unless you start really pissing around with the colour temperature. I found the Vivo V70's display was more than bright enough for outdoor use, although again with the caveat, I've been testing it in the UK in February. So the word gloom springs instantly to mind. I might as well have been living in a f***ing cave this past week. But boost the screen all the way up to the maximum levels and it's not even perturbed by my ultra bright studio lights. I know it's not LTPO tech, fairly standard for this sort of price point, so the refresh rate just basically skips between 60Hz and 120Hz, and at 120Hz certainly nice and nippy, all your apps look really fluid. And while it wasn't expressly mentioned in the display specs, you should have that 2160Hz PWM dimming, in case you are a bit more sensitive to OLED flicker. And the Vivo V70 also sports a stereo speaker setup, although it is slightly imbalanced audio. That bottom speaker certainly got a bit more grunt than the top speaker. But it certainly does the job for a bit of YouTube or Netflix or whatever, just kicking back with a video, something loud enough when you boost that volume all the way up so you can clearly hear what's going on, even in a rather raucous environment. And just the usual smartphone speaker caveats, like the audio's a bit tinny, the bass isn't terrible, but it's not great either, so I certainly wouldn't listen to music through those speakers. Definitely get some Bluetooth headphones or something or other on the go. Unfortunately, that wireless streaming's been absolutely fine, even in a very busy London environment. It's been a London Bridge station, etc. No cutouts or anything. You got bugger all support for the likes of Dolby Atmos, but you do have support for high-res audio. You got LDAC, all that good stuff. And when it comes to the performance, Vivo decided to stick with the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4, which was stuffed in the previous generation. And that's backed here in my Vivo V70 by 12 gigs of RAM. And I found that the everyday running, once again, absolutely fine, perfectly smooth. Just a couple of wee judders, which to be honest I think is more down to OriginOS rather than the actual performance. If you are a gamer, well, good news, OriginOS once again delivers that ultra game mode which serves up all kinds of performance features, including the ability to swap between battery saver, balanced and boost modes. Plenty of other tools as well to help keep you focused and in the game, including block notifications, reject calls, you can lock the brightness, and you've also got the all-encompassing esports mode as well, which basically just turns on all the main bits. And of course your PUBGs, your Call of Duties, etc. will all run perfectly, and even highly demanding poorly optimized titles like Wuthering Waves will run fine on this thing, and that's despite pushing the graphics settings up to the higher levels, bumping it to the 60 FPS mode. That higher frame rate was mostly maintained without a grumble, rarely dropped us in a noticeable amount, even when fists were flying all over the place, some antagonistical beasties getting all up in my grill. I did see the odd slump here and there though, and unfortunately, despite the Vivo V70's vapor chamber coolant tech, this phone did get a wee bit toasty if my gaming session happened to fly past that hour mark, at which point on a couple of occasions I did notice the occasional wee judder here and there. But overall, still pretty impressive performance for a mid-range smartphone despite the lack of upgrades, so I can see why Vivo just stuck with that Snapdragon. And no upgrade for the battery capacity either. Once again, 6,500 mAh here in the Vivo V70, just like the V60 before it. And again, thankfully not really an issue because the Vivo V70's battery life is absolutely bloody stunning. Even after a typically long day for me, we're talking about 6 hours of screen on time, plenty of mixed use with lots of Spotify streaming in the background, fair bit of camera play, at the very minimum a 20-30 minute stint on Wuthering Waves, good bit of video chat action, all that good stuff. At the end of the day, when I finally got all tucked up with Teddy, the Vivo V70 still generally had about half of its battery life remaining. So even if you don't go particularly easy on it, the V70 should still last you a full weekend on a single charge. The easiest way to kill it is to just play Wuthering Waves non-stop, basically, but even then, a full charge of this smartphone will deliver just over 5.5 hours of Wuthering Waves action. And that's on the higher graphics settings with all the ultra game mode shenanigans switched on. And despite the same chipset, the same battery capacity and everything, that is a better result than what I saw with the older Vivo V60. If you do run out of juice, well, no worries, you've got that 90-watt wired charging support, although once again, bugger all support for wireless charging. And so my lovelies, let's finish up this lovely wee Vivo V70 review with a bit of a squint at the old camera tech. As you can see there, once again, Vivo has teamed up with optics expert Zeiss. The hardware has changed up for this generation, so it's a 50 megapixel main shooter LYT700V, and that's a 1/1.56 inch sensor. But the camera app will look very familiar indeed to any Vivo fans. Got all the usual toggles and tools, and once again you can swap between a variety of different filters. It is stuck on Vivid by default, but you can swap to the Zeiss mode if you want a more natural vibe. Or if you're not the least bothered about natural, you got all the usual AI gubbins on here, like in that portrait mode you got the 4 seasons shenanigans. So you can manufacture a sun-kissed paradise out of even the most inhospitable of UK landscapes. But personally, I just stuck with the natural mode and kept everything as simple as possible, and I was happy with almost everything that the Vivo V70 spunked out. No artificial iPhone style shindiggery here, just gorgeous contrast and very little nasty saturation. And photos shot in softer, more ambient light usually came out pretty well too. This colour's usually quite natural, only slightly warm on occasion, and you've generally got enough fine details so pics look good when thrown up onto a big screen. The detail levels do drop a wee bit in the evenings, but your photos won't be invaded by noisy nonsense at least, and colours are still reasonably on point. And portrait pics usually come out pretty well, if slightly smooth when fuzzy pets are involved. But like a lot of phones at this price, if your subject won't keep still, you will want to snap quite a lot of photos, because some of them will inevitably be a blurry sack of toss. We're back on familiar ground when it comes to the 50 megapixel telephoto shooter, however, with a 3x optical zoom using that IMX882 sensor. And this is great for getting, again, portrait shots of your kids, cats or whatever without getting right up in their face. And even when you are shooting at greater distances, the V70 can still keep things reasonably crispy, even in the evenings, although it is rather clear that some AI sharpening shenanigans is involved. And last up for this triple lens setup, you've also got yourself a basic 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. And this is absolutely perfectly okay-ish, aye. As for your video type shenanigans, where you can capture Ultra HD 4K resolution video at up to 60 frames per second, although you will need to drop that to 30 frames per second if you want to actually use the telephoto lens while recording. And the Vivo V70 is good enough for shooting home movies and vlogs on the go. Get quite crisp visuals as long as the lighting is alright. In the evenings things do get rather noisy and not too pleasant, but the audio capture is still dependable, even with a wee bit of wind, so your outdoor commentary generally comes through quite clearly. And you'll find there's quite a few other bonus camera modes slapped on here, all the usual stuff, bit of food mode if you can't avoid shooting your scran before you shove it down your throat. And if you want a very specific kind of shot, the Pro mode allows you to mess around with the white balance, the shutter speed, etc. You can also capture raw footage to edit on the fly. And last up, around the front end of the Vivo V70, you've got a final 50 meg sensor for that selfie cam. This can again record you at up to 4K resolution at up to 60 frames per second. The stabilization is a bit smoother when you drop it down to 30 FPS, so I would recommend that if you are doing some vlogging, especially if you're moving out and about. Again, the audio pickup, pretty solid, does the job for video chats, etc. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a delicious wee nutshell is the fresh new Vivo V70. And it is yet another incremental update, not exactly a massive evolution at all. But what Vivo has done here is taken the rather splendid V60 and just tweaked it, updated it in a couple of key areas, and made an absolute banger. It's hard to find much fault with it, to be honest, and certainly if you're a more demanding user, the battery life is excellent, the performance is generally pretty dependable, the camera tech really solid for this sort of mid-range price point. A few software quirks, but beyond that, cracking stuff. I certainly prefer it to the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus, which I only just reviewed here on the Techsperts, and it'll certainly be a strong rival to the Pixel 10a as well when that emerges, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so. In fact, only real problem, as usual, is it's a pain in the bollocks to actually find one here in the UK, certainly. Generally going to be an import special. But anyway, that's what this whole northern knacker reckons. But what do you think of the Vivo V70? Are you tempted? It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everybody. Love you.